Afternoon. I thought before I scrap the thing, I'll show you guys the carnage that's happened inside my Subaru engine when it chucked a rod. I've not even seen this myself yet, but let's have a look. Right, this is the engine as it is. I've stripped it down to the bare essentials, so I don't, you don't have to sit there watching loads of fucking crappy engine dismantling boringness. You can see that anywhere. So I should be able to get this apart pretty quick. This is the main damage. As you see, the rod come flying through the block, ripped a big hole in the block, even ripped out where one of the bolts that holds the two sides of the block together is mounted normally. Don't know how well you can see in there, but the crank is relatively undamaged, but you can see carnage down in the block in various places. That there looks like, well, almost certainly is part of the con rod. The other side I might have a picture of, but it went clean through the block. Seemed to separate at the rod bolt like a rod bolt went, but I don't know for sure. We might be able to find out more when I take it apart, so let's go. Right then, I've undone pretty much everything. Just need to undo the head bolts and we can go from there. Right then, first thing to undo is, well, first thing to take off and have a look is the sump. I can hear lots of rattling, so there's definitely shit in here. Oh, and the answer is lots of engine. And what's that? A rod bolt with the head sheared off. That's pretty much exactly what I thought had happened. It looked like the rod bolt had failed rather than the rod itself. So yeah, sheared rod bolt. What's this? Bearing. Absolutely smashed to fuck. Doesn't look worn at all before it got smashed to pieces when the rod bolt went there. But yeah, some pretty serious chunks. A hell of a lot of metal in there. In fact, what can I see there? There you go. The head of the rod bolt. Fucking hell. So yeah, that's what happens when you've got rally anti-lag with like 22 psi or so at about 1200 rpm. A lot of torque, a lot of boost, and a lot of rod bolts that can't take that kind of cylinder pressure and torque. So yeah, it's fucked. Good treasure though. Right then, keep them. Right, let's whip this head off and have a look what's inside here. Head looks pretty much intact, no dent, just carbon build-up, lots of carbon build-up. Plugs look good, good colour. Yeah, this head's actually pretty fucking happy and healthy. That's the point. I'll show something else as well. This is the typical new age Impreza EJ205 followers, cam followers, and see the little shim on top. That supposedly can pop off if you're like bouncing off the limiter or anti-lag a lot or something. I never had that trouble, but it's known to be a problem. But the later, like 2005 on, I think, is shimless, so they're meant to be better because obviously they can't pop off because there's no shims. But yeah, that's that. Worth noting. chuck all that away. But yeah, and as you can imagine, since the bottom half of the head was fine, top half looks bang on. I'll just plonk that there. Right then, head gasket off. See, they're MLS ones anyway, good head gaskets, I presume that's standard, but yeah, MLS gaskets. What's it, 2 layers, 3 layers, 1, 2, yeah, 3 layer metal head gasket. If you're blowing a head gasket on one of these, you're probably doing something pretty fucking wrong. Open deck block, as you can see, and yeah. All of them, yeah. And that's the other head. That's just dirt. Again, no noticeable dent. All looks really fucking good, to be fair. AFRs and everything were good, which I knew anyway because I'd done it myself, and I'm no mapper, but I know what I'm fucking doing, unlike most mappers, unfortunately. And yeah, all looks fucking pretty happy. Head gaskets are fine. Here's the pistons. Yeah, again, they all look fine. Some more metal in the oil way from it destroying itself. Right then, let's maybe split this block apart. Here's the first difficulty. The thing has smashed the shit out of the windage tray that much that I can't get that bolt out. I can't get a socket in it, so I'm going to have to hammer that to straighten it out so I can even undo that last bolt. Right, that's the windage tray out, and as you can see, the conrod snapping and slapping around everywhere. It's fucked it up pretty good on that end, but it's out now, and this is what we can see inside. The bottom bit of the block there is missing on both sides. Look, that's normally there, that is not there. Bit missing there, not a huge amount, but some. So yeah, it's fucked. Rest of it looks fine, but that is fucked. Let's keep going. Here's a better look at the pistons and everything. They are all spot on. No damage, no dent, no nothing. All good. Just clearly, like I thought from the beginning, rod bolt went. As this is a flat engine, the block is in 2 pieces because the crank's in the middle. The only way to pull it in is by separating the block one side from the other. And amongst the other million bolts, there is 6 on this side and 2 on the other, which are the final ones to pretty much hold it together. So let me take them out and then we'll have a proper look at the carnage. Here's another thing worth noting before I fully take it apart. Weirdly, despite all the carnage, it still turns smooth and quiet. Just a 3-cylinder. Look. Absolutely nothing connecting, just that snapped off one stuck in that cylinder. That's so yeah, it ran on free, lovely. Right then, I think I've got all the bolts out that hold the block together. There's millions of them in all kinds of weird and wonderful places, but I think they're all out now, so I should be able to just tap the block into 2 bits, and let's have a look what we find. Right, after being a fucking retard and completely forgetting how you meant to take these engines apart, I finally got it apart, and here's the final bit of carnage. This is the one side of the block, and honestly everything looks fine until you get here, and there's big chunks missing. Weirdly, well not weirdly, but luckily, there's very little damage to that crank. It honestly probably, you'd think it might even go again. It's pretty much undamaged. All the bearings are fine. The engine was loving life until now. Bearings weren't worn, anything, but yeah, rod bolts, they aren't strong enough for lots and lots of torque. This is the other side of the block. This is where a lot of the carnage happened. Looks like it nicked a bearing there when all the things hit everywhere, but yeah, there's not meant to be a hole there. There's not meant to be big dents there. That isn't meant to be completely fucking missing. But yeah, apart from that, oh, there's my phone. Apart from that, and I'm going to ignore the phone for a minute because I've got to finish this. The bearings are good. Everything's good. This is the other side of the caps for the rods. Fine. Absolutely not even worn really. And this was like 120 odd thousand mile engine, stock WRX, which I beat the shit out of drifting. So yeah, all good. Now let me show you the pistons. But yeah, that's the block. Crank's practically fine, bearings are fine. Unfortunately, block is fucked. So on to the pistons. One, absolutely fine, unmarked, no dent, no damage, no nothing, all good. Next one, same again, no dent, no damage, no nothing, all good. Rings look good. Engine never smoked or used really any oil, so yeah, it was a fucking good one. Number 3, much the same, all good. Got a little bit of scuffing on the side, but nothing weird really. And yeah, this one. This is the one that died. No dent on it though. A couple of witness marks where it hit the valves by the looks of it. But apart from that, it's just where the rod bolt snapped and smashed it to fucking pieces. But yeah, no dent at all, because I know how cars should be set up. But I also don't know to stop when there's limits on power. My limits are when things explode, because they're not strong enough. But not from dent, which is all I really give a fuck about. Because if things have dented, I've done a bad job. So yeah, that is that's that. Oh, for what it's worth, this is a unbroken rod bolt and nut, and this is the one off the dead one. So yeah, now I am literally gonna chuck all this in a scrap because it's fucking no good to anyone. Not even you, is it, Doris? Woof. Woof. So yeah, that's the end of the Subaru life. I'm quite impressed with the engine, to be fair. It gives me a lot more respect for them than I thought. But yeah, the rod bolts ain't good enough. So yeah, that's it from me. Hope you enjoy seeing this carnage. And time to crack on with the Corolla and the Mercedes. See you later. Say bye bye, Doris. Bye bye.